Raids that tonight his attorney calls a gross overuse of military-level force. Why a simultaneous cross-country search?
Oh, I think they wanted this to be a bit of a surprise. It's a big raid, and what they were going in was to try to find all types of evidence.
There are two distinct images of Combs. The iconic performer and the one named in multiple lawsuits accusing him of everything from rape to sex trafficking. Last December, Combs posted a statement saying, "I did not do any of the awful things being alleged." The lawsuits so far have been in civil court. As for the latest searches,
If it involves sex trafficking or drugs or weapons or other illegal behavior, it can easily go from a civil investigation to what we see now, a criminal investigation.
TMZ published video, it says, was after the raids began. It showed Combs walking around Opa-locka Airport near Miami. A short time later, at the same airport, Miami-Dade police arrested Brendan Paul for drug possession. Paul was described in a previous lawsuit as Diddy's mule, someone used to get drugs and guns.
So what Sean Combs needs to do is follow his lawyer's advice, which undoubtedly is not to talk to people, not try to hinder the investigation, and not try to flee.
Jaguar Wright has reportedly revealed shocking information about law enforcement activities at the homes of renowned musician and producer Sean Diddy Combs. These activities are said to be linked to an ongoing sex trafficking investigation. Diddy made headlines when he was spotted at Miami Airport shortly after Homeland Security raided 2 of his residences. The raids were part of a federal trafficking investigation. TMZ obtained video footage of the incident, which took place around 3 p.m. PT on Monday, March 25th, at Miami's Opa-locka Executive Airport. In the video, Diddy is seen pacing outside a customs office, appearing anxious and concerned.
I guess you wondered what's going to happen next, Diddy. I know.
Reports suggest that Diddy and his entourage were stopped at the airport, possibly while preparing to board a private jet, when Homeland Security officials stepped in. This unexpected turn of events added tension to what would have been an ordinary travel day for the music icon. Law enforcement sources reveal that this is part of a larger investigation, though details about Combs' direct involvement are still unclear due to the case's sensitive nature. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed that the actions at Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles are linked to the ongoing investigation. Online reactions have been intense, especially after Jaguar Wright previously highlighted these concerns.
Already know how Diddy get down. How you feel about Cassie outlining everything that Diddy did to her? He's settling so quick. And I read all 35 pages of the court documents, and I believe he did this shit.
Well, as arrogant as he is, if he didn't do it, I guarantee you he wouldn't have paid. The simple fact that he paid so quick and it was wrapped up so fast, in my opinion, only lets me know that he knows. Let me stop the faucet of information here.
Yes.
I not only think that everything in those 35 pages is true, I think some was probably redacted.
Yeah, they didn't put everything.
I don't think they put everything.
They didn't put but if they would have went to trial, you know, they would have had to go through discovery. Man.
Oh Lord. Give her the, listen to me. This Diddy. Hold on now. Wait a minute, I gotta get this Diddy right now on the phone. How fast can we liquidate?
Sean Diddy Combs, widely known for his impact on the music industry through stage names like Puff Daddy and Diddy, founded the legendary Bad Boy Records in 1993. His career boasts multiple Grammy wins and nominations, but it has also been accompanied by various controversies. The link between his past issues and recent developments remains uncertain. One of the latest controversies involving Diddy was the Lil Rod case, which surfaced just last month. This case gains further intrigue when factoring in Diddy's complicated relationship with Fonzworth Bentley, adding another layer to the unfolding events.
Let me ask you this. What do you think Diddy and Fonzworth Bentley's real relationship was?
Concubine, master.
Ooh.
Period. Everybody know Bentley. Everybody know. I think the thing that everybody is having a hard time grasping is how that whole thing could have probably went down. But the thing is it was how fast he disappeared.
Yes. Now he lives in Atlanta. He's married. He has 2 sons. He's living his life. I mean, but how many? Listen, y'all. If you've ever lived in Atlanta, you know the majority. The majority of them are still in gay men. They just give up their life to be married and gave their life to God, and then you'll pass them.
And down low culture is still very, very, very heavy in the Black community in Atlanta. It's funny because Atlanta's like a gay mecca. You would think that there would be no need for down low culture, but down low culture is thriving in Atlanta still.
And it's weird because you can find whatever you want in Atlanta, any kind of relationship, poly, orgies, whatever you're into, you can find somebody there that's into it. It really, you may meet somebody and ladies like, yeah, these are my 2 husbands.
Yeah. And we gonna play Star Wars.
So you think he was Diddy's concubine?
Absolutely. He was too complicit and he was too compliant. And he just disappeared. He disappeared faster than Mace did. When Mace from Diddy, you could see the trailer just fire from his footsteps as he ran
that is
to
true.
the church. But I don't understand why people don't ask why. People, oh yeah, he gone. Oh, okay. Nobody bothered to ask why.
Jaguar Wright has consistently voiced her criticism of Diddy, often speaking out against him and highlighting various controversies surrounding the music mogul.
My focus right now is Sean Combs.
Okay. Tell us why.
Because he's a sex trafficker. And he's using music and entertainment traffic.
Now, is this just boys, girls, adults, kids? I
mean, from what I've heard from sources that I would consider reliable, it really doesn't matter.
Wow.
I don't think that he is something that has anything to do with gender at this point for Sean. I honestly think he's just an extreme narcissist who loves power. He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor, who loved to control people.
And his mentor was
Andre Harrell.
Tell us how
who was mentored by Clive Davis.
Oh God! And don't tell me that Andre Harrell got touched by Clive Davis too.
I'm telling you, I don't know what happened between Andre and Clive. What I do know is that Andre got passed over. Like, how do you go from being the president of Uptown and losing your entire company to your intern? Like, Puff started out as an intern.
Yes,
he was throwing parties with Mark Barnes in Washington, D.C. And then he became an intern at Uptown, and he was very, proactive. And if there's one thing that Sean knows, he knows pop culture.
That is true. He knows what's hot.
Like, I cannot take anything away from where he has been extremely effective.
Yes.
He knows pop culture. Matter of fact, probably knows pop culture better than he knows music.
I never felt like he had a lot of talent in music. Is that fair for me to say?
I mean, nobody really cares about him rapping.
Sean Diddy Combs has strongly denied allegations of assault connected to an incident at his Manhattan recording studio in 2003. The woman, now in her 30s, disputes the statements made by the 54-year-old artist from Harlem, Gene Deal, who had been outspoken about the issue until roughly 6 months ago, has since remained quiet on the matter.
What about this new lawsuit? It's a girl that was 17 at the time accusing Harv Pierre of forcing her to give him fellatio. And she also claims that Diddy, he flew her to New York and he gang raped her in his recording studio called Daddy House.
Well, I think that any man that force any woman to do anything, it should be like the Arab countries. They just start cutting shit off, to be totally honest, of that man. Any man that forces any woman to do anything, they should treat them like they treat them in the Arab countries and just start cutting shit off. From their fingers, to their hands, to their feet, to their genitals, to their head. You know what I'm saying? So now, another thing of it is that how low do you have to be when you're gonna put somebody on a jet and fly them all the way to New York, to the studio? To me, bro, to be totally honest, it sounds kind of fishy to me. I can't, and then it came from Harv Pierre. The Harv Pierre I knew back in them days was a cornball that did everything Puff said. You know what I mean? Like he was one of Diddy's highest dick rides. So I don't know that Harv Pierre. The time they said it happened when I was reading in 2003, I was around at that time. You know what I'm saying? Me and about 8, 9 other bodyguards. See, what people don't know, that Puff had a lot of bodyguards. Everybody has certain days. You understand? I had Saturdays and Sundays. And then when Puff went away, or they were certain places and I was off work, they may call me and say, yo, Gene, Puff wants you here. Can you come? This, that, and the third. And if I could, I would. If I did, I didn't. It wasn't no big thing. So for them to do that, man, that's some real thirsty, desperate shit. That's some real thirsty, desperate shit. For them to fly a 17-year-old girl, you know, on a G5. They was flying G5 and G4 jets back then. All the way to New York to gang her in the studio. Man, I wish I could give them their punishment, if that's true.
Yeah, that's what she said, man. She said that Diddy, he flew her to New York, took her to the studio, gave her drugs and game. And there's pictures online too. So she was at his studio, Daddy House. So, I mean, she ain't lying about that. She was there, man.
Well, if anything, at that time, if anything came from Detroit, it was one of Puff A&R. They called him Slam. He was from Detroit. He used to set up everything, you know, for Diddy. The time I told y'all about Diddy getting the fellatio when Jennifer Lopez was upstairs, Slam set that up. You know what I mean? So if it came from Detroit, it probably came from Slam.
When asked if such behavior was typical of Diddy, Gene Deal gave an intriguing response.
I really don't, I got daughters, man. I have words, I don't have words for that, bro. And I don't know any of the guys who were officers that worked for Bad Boy like myself would allow that shit to happen. They wouldn't allow that shit to go down. Pup and them, they know what to do with certain people around. You understand? When they got those dudes who was, you know, from the hood and they was doing bodyguard work and they was doing stuff like that, they may, but I don't know any of the officers that I knew that was working for Puff would allow any of that shit to go down. Because they know they can lose their job and they can be brought up on charges too. You know, people ain't dumb, people ain't stupid, and there ain't that much money in the hip hop world to lose your job behind some dumb shit like that. That shit was crazy, bro, to do that to that little girl. But she's gotta prove it. And she has to prove it by saying this. She has to tell, she cannot come out and say that this happened to her 20 years ago and she never told nobody else. Or she never tried to do something, you know, about it. She had to tell somebody 20 years ago, yo, when I was there, they did this to me. She had to write it in a diary or something like that, you know, and she had to prove to the courts that this actually happened to her.
Right. Are you familiar with Daddy House?
Am I familiar with it? Am I familiar with it? Yeah, 44 between was it 8th, 7th and 8th? Yeah, between, I think 8th. 8th is going, that way is going down. Between 7th and 8th. Yeah, I'm familiar with Daddy House. Yep.
Was he known for having relations with females at his studio? Did you know about it?
It never happened on my, I never seen him work. I never seen him mess with anybody on my watch at Daddy House. It was always business. When I went to Daddy House with Puff, it was always business.
According to the lawsuit, the accuser claims she was flown to Sean Diddy Combs' New York studio, where Combs, his longtime friend and rapper Harv Pierre, and another unnamed individual allegedly provided her with alcohol and drugs upon her arrival. She asserts that she then experienced violent acts that led to significant distress and confusion. The story quickly gained traction online, prompting further investigation and the discovery of additional details surrounding the incident.
Now listen, Diddy, well actually Harvey is who she met, not at first, not Diddy. Now Harvey couldn't help that she happened to be in a club at 17. Okay, I'll give you that. However, how are you excusing him handing her off to Diddy when Harvey and Diddy, of course, already had this planned out on what they was going to do to this girl, and in no way, shape, or form was there any kind of consent given? Why are you not looking at the fact that she said he forced her, which means she didn't want to do it? I don't give a damn if she was 13 and looked at 25 in a club. She didn't want to do it. Oh my God. Is these y'all aunties that made you put on sweats when your child molesting uncle came over instead of kicking and kicking off foot and your child molesting uncle? This the one that told you shouldn't have been wearing a short skirt. Love Jones said, I met Harvey when I was super young. You better tell that story on your channel and get them views. Why do people always deflect? We holding Diddy accountable right now. We'll talk about the girl's poor decision making later.
Additionally, Gene Deal has indicated that more cases are likely to surface in the near future.
Tiffany, right? Cassie's friend Tiffany. Did you see her interview?
Yeah, I seen the interview.
Yeah, she said a lot in that interview, man. What you think about her saying that, you know, Diddy, he will only do music with Cassie when she would do freak off sessions with him?
Yo, that was crazy. And she said that it was heartbreaking to her that her music was the reason why they was freaking off. The music that she was writing, it was for Cassie to freak off with him. And she couldn't believe it. And then she said that in the interview, which was crazy, she said that Puff came to the house and tried to make the girl have sex with him. And she intervened and said, she don't have to have sex with you. And she said, then I seen his monster. Like, I was like, you had a monster? She was like, yo, she said, I seen his monster. His whole tone, his facial expression, everything just changed towards her. I was like, yo, that's crazy. She lucky.
And you believe everything she's saying. You being around Diddy, you believe all this. You know, him giving her a black eye, you know, him not doing music with her unless she did a freak off session with him. You believe all this?
Bruh, I'm being totally honest, man. Like, I believe that when you on those type of like that with alcohol, that it caused those people to think like that. It's crazy, you know, for these women to be in fear of their life based on you trying to put that pressure on them like that. We started it off that during his turmoil at the city college, he slapped his mother. If anybody put their hands on their mother, they are capable of doing anything. Do you understand that, bro? He's capable of doing anything to a female. I don't believe Cassie lied. I don't believe Tiffany Red lied. Dude, whole life has changed, bro. You know, the money, the alcohol, all the things made him to a different person. The stuff that he learned, the stuff that he was doing. These girls is not lying about what they witnessed. The women who told me, you know, how he treated them, what he did to him. The girl Gina, who we heard all say, he kicked her, he pushed her, mushed her in her face, all that. These women is not lying about seeing abuse. These women are not lying about being abused. It's his behavior. It wasn't corrected way back when. Had he got help with that way back when, then maybe they wouldn't have a leg to stand on. It's a lot of women coming out, bro. It's a lot of people coming out. They got 3 cases already filed in court already, I think.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about that. So they got 3 cases that's on the way.
They got 3 cases on the way. Yo, I believe what those girls are saying. It's too many women that's coming out and they saying the same thing. And they wasn't around each other. Gina said what she had to say. Cassie said what she had to say. Tiffany Red said what she saw. These other people that didn't file cases, which is similar. It's gonna be crazy, bro.